Alright, so look, punks. Today we're gonna be doing something simple, just a little talk, just a little information. So, why did I make these synths? Why is it that you should even invest in them, and why is it something that's important? So let's go over here to the screen. So let's talk about the four different types of synths. We got the data synth. We got the DSAT synth. My personal favorite, the purple synth. And another favorite, the static synth. So let's start off with the static synth. The reason why I gotta take these off just because the colors. The reason why I made it is because if you don't want to go out of your way and buy a CRT and invest in the whole setup, this is pretty much the next best thing. All you need is amino diffusion, which is free, or my punk dither plugin, and you'll get pretty much the same thing you get out of the CRT. Now with the CRT, what you need is you need one of these glitch pedals, and a good glitch pedal or a good video synthesizer, circuit bent, video mixer, whatever you want to call these things. They were running about 150 at least, and that's including shipping and all that, and then taxes. So you're looking at about 200 for just one of these little bad boys. That'll do you really good justice. Not including getting the CRT, gas money for the CRT. You're probably not gonna get it free. If you have one laying around with your grandparents or whatever the case may be, lucky you. You know how to invest in one. But I bought a lot. I spent at least like $200 on CRTs alone just last year. So 200 off the CRT, you get a CRT for maybe like $30, so that's $230 right there. And then get yourself a video mixer. My video mixer was $200. So right off the rip, you're talking about $500, bro. You're talking about $500 for a little hobby that may or may not even work out. And then I kept it on the cordial side. I know people who have like $1,000+ setups, and that's just because they're gear crazy like that. They're gearheads. So why would you go down that route? Because honestly, if you love the CRT, if you love all the shit that it comes with it, that's just the price you pay for the hobby. But if you're on the fence and you don't necessarily even know if you want to do that in the long run or if that's even your style, that's why I made the synth. That's why I made these little plugins, this little plugin stack that pretty much replicates the exact same effect, but in a different manner. Now, what we do analog, we can't necessarily do digitally unless we do a little bit of innovation. That's how I came up with the plugin stack. So with that little background, let's get into the actual plugin stack. So like I said, you need amino diffusion on top or my punk dither plugin. Amino diffusion is free. I'm not releasing my code for free. I got sick doing it, and I was sitting there coding for a minute. So yeah, I was coding for a minute. So I'm just gonna use my plugin, and then later on I'll show you what amino looks like. So have it on left, and then put it as an overlay. That pretty much gives you a very good vibe right off the rip. Like, you could innovate it more. You could not have it on overlay. You could have it on subtract, maybe exclusion, I think it was. Yeah, exclusion, get something different, and then go over here to the curves. Adjust that a bit more. Make it look crazier. Like that. Make it look crazier. But either way, this is easier to do than sitting there behind a CRT, rescanning. How do you even get into that? Okay. And you gotta actually rescan the CRT. So if you do what I do, just use like a little camcorder, $20, $30, little gas money. Or your iPhone, that's smart. But a lot of people go out their way and buy an actual camera to rescan. So right off the rip, yeah, you're actually looking like around $700 to really get into this. Or you could just pay $35 and just get this shit on After Effects. That's really why I did this. The barrier to entry is so high, and then the reward is high too, but on the run, you can't necessarily do what you do with your station. what I noticed, especially with the way things were going, let's say I'm out with like an artist, like, and I'm away from my setup. I can't necessarily be like, bro, we gotta hold this entire thing off up until I get to the right time, get back to my setup, rescan, re-edit it, and all that. It, of course, you can, good negotiation, building up the relationship and all that, but it just doesn't necessarily seem as effective to not have a workaround and a solid workaround. This practically does the exact same thing that the CRT right there does. Of course, it has its own, the CRT has its own look, and this has its own look because digital versus analog. But overall, the effect that you're getting here will replicate that. That's why I did it overall. Can't even just. Well, okay. So what you could do is you could run it to a HDMI to AV converter, run it back through to a camcorder. To a capture card. That's a solid way of doing it on the go. Just have this. Maybe just sack the video mixer. I don't know if you're able to do all that, but that's still a lot. Really, all you do is just drag and drop a couple plugins, adjust the curves, and you got something that's competing with that right there, with the $700 setup. Let's get into the plugin stack a little bit more. The reason why I call this the static synth is because I got this from Static Instruments, and honestly, after getting this, it was a huge inspiration to learn how to do it digitally. So I just gotta pay homage to brother. And he follows me too. I fuck with bro. So the whole plugin stack, you can just go through it, figure out how it works from top to bottom, and innovate on top of that. See what else you can make on top of that. There's really no way there's no proper way to mix the synths. Just like with this, let me show you the backbone. Like, there was generally no improper or proper way to do this shit. Whole bunch of wiring, whole bunch of connections, whole bunch of figuring out how to do some awesomeness with things that necessarily don't even correlate. And that's the same thing that this plugin does. You go around and you go glitch it out. Go mess with the settings, go make it look nice, make it look bad, make it look nice again. And figure out what works for your style, your project, and what you have in mind. So this is just the static synth right here. Let's get into the purple. So applying the same thing, all of my synths technically work the same, but their application could be used differently. I use the purple synth a lot more just because it has a visual pop to it. I use the static synth for certain areas and certain projects just because it has that little unique glitch looking effect. It's really up to the application that you want for it. There's really no wrong way to do this shit. So with this one, it just looks beautiful overall. It honestly just looks beautiful overall. This isn't even adjusting it. I didn't adjust anything. I just drag and dropped it. The curve is just completely the same. And that's honestly something that you can't get from a CRT right here. And this is with the amino diffusion or with the pump dither on top. Without it being on top, it still looks very good. It has this VHS, this glow, this vibrant feel to it that honestly I haven't seen anywhere else. Now let's get into the desat. The reason why I call it the desat synth is because it's desaturated. It's only black and white with a little bit of colors picking up here and there. One thing that I like to do if I like to have it with some color, it looks a little bit like the static synth if you add some color to it, by the way. But if you have HueSat Bright, you got the HueSat Bright on top of there from the Sapphire plugins. Crank that saturation up. Like it's cranking the Soldier Boy, cranking that Soldier Boy. And you just get colors all over the place. It just looks vibrant. Now let's compare that to the static synth. Static synth has the colors inside the actual lines, as opposed to putting some saturation on the desat synth. It has colors all over the place. You can mess with a little bit more, turn up the brightness, offset the darks a little bit, make it look more darker. Go back to the curves, adjust it a little bit more. Boom, put the punk dither on top. Let's make that look cute. Let's make the punk dither look a bit cute. Some more lines to it. And it gives you this very broken, holographic, distorted, punkish overall look and feel. Look. Punkish feeling look. You get the point though. It gives you something that it's just irreplaceable. I'm running out of time here because YouTube only likes 15-minute videos. And then this is the the data synth. The data synth, kind of my least favorite. I'm not gonna lie, it's the least favorite child. It just is what it is. But it does what it does. It makes things look so broken, so glitched out. I had to call it the data synth because it's data glitch and stuff. And just like the other ones, you could put amino diffusion or the punk dither plugin on top of it, and it gives it its own look. So mess around with it, figure out what things actually work for your project, figure out what you like about it, and etc. But the biggest thing is you're avoiding spending $300+ on an actual good CRT setup, and you're just paying $35 in an Adobe subscription if you're paying for the subscription, and you're getting pretty much the same exact results. So it's up to you. You can make the decision, pay $300, ball out, or just figure out a little substitute while you get your money up, get to a comfortable situation, then you can invest in that. Because there's no doubt, if you have something like this in your arsenal, there's no doubt you won't be able to get some commissions. People are going to see it, see your style, see how it pops out. They're going to be willing to fuck with you.